Hello everyone, today we shall study the principle of casework. What is casework? Social casework is a primary method of social work. It's one-to-one service. It's concerned with the adjustment and development of individuals, improves social and personal relations, helps the person to take better decisions, assist him or her to grow, finally helps them to lead a peaceful life. Principles of casework. Meaning of principles of casework is to establish close relationship between social caseworker and client, medium through which changes are brought in the behavior and personality of the client. Principles are rules of action for guiding performance. There are 7 principles in casework. First one, principle of individualization, principle of acceptance, principle of purposeful expression of feelings, principle of controlled emotional involvement, principle of non-judgmental attitude, principle of client's self-determination, principle of confidentiality. Principle of individualization. No two persons are similar in all qualities and traits. Their problems may be the same, but the cause of the problem, the perception towards the problem, and ego strength differs in every individual. Hence, each individual client should be treated as a separate entity, and complete information is required to establish close relations in order to solve his or her problem from the root. Example, 2 alcoholic clients. Principle of acceptance. Accept the client as he is with his or her limitations, such as accept the client with his appearance, background, good and bad qualities, strengths and weakness, regardless of his behavior. Acceptance is the root of all help. Accept the person and try to modify his or her behavior. Love the sinner and hate the sin. Recognize the client as a person even though he may have committed a crime. The principle of controlled emotional involvement. The social caseworker tries to understand the client's feelings and emotions, but he or she does not resolve emotionally in client's problem. But he or she does not involve emotionally in client's problems. Social worker either getting too personally involved in the difficulties or unpleasant situations or being too objective. Social worker should be able to capture the feelings of the client without allowing those feelings or affect adversely on his or her thinking process. Principle of purposeful expression of feelings. Purposeful expression of feelings is the recognition of the client's need to express his or her feelings freely, especially his or her negative feelings. The caseworker listens purposefully, either discouraging nor condemning the expression of those feelings. Sometimes he or she even stimulates and encourages them when the expression is of therapeutic nature. Non-judgmental attitude. The non-judgmental attitude is a quality of the casework relationship. The caseworker does not blame the client for his or her problem, nor he assigns any responsibility for his or her miseries. He or she only evaluates the attitudes, standards, or action of the client, not condemning, not arguing. Criminal for whom punishment is inevitable, but there is not disapproving of the criminal by the social worker when he or she becomes social work client. Society already judged the criminal, social worker accept the client and being helpful. Think that person worthy for attention. Principle of client self-determination. The client's self-determination is the practical recognition of the right and need of clients to freedom in making his or her own choices and decisions. But this right is limited by the client's capacity for positive and constructive decision making. Social worker should not make decisions, choices, or plans for the client. However, can be guided and enabled to make his or her decisions. Limitations. Consequences of the decisions made by the client should not be detrimental to others, should not be harmful to others. It should be socially acceptable standards of behavior. People vary in their capacity of self-determination. This principle has to be exercised in accordance with the client's capacity for self-determination. Confidentiality. Confidentiality is the preservation of the secret information concerning the client, which is disclosed in the professional relationship only. Client's permission is needed to share the information with third persons like client's family members, another specialist, and such others. Information received from the client has to be treated seriously. Disclosure from caseworker side leads to discomfort, can damage client's reputation. When to disclose the information shared with other agency who are associated with the case, fellow professional social worker who are assisting the caseworker, information concerning the criminal activities of the client, shared information of the client harming the life of others. Conclusion. Casework principles believes that every person is dynamic and capable for growth and change. Person has got inherent qualities, has emotions and feelings. Finally, these principles helps the person to grow and to lead a happy and peaceful life. Reference: Basics of Social Casework by Anna Matthew. Thank you.